cardiac arrest. The ball will be kicked out of play after 10 minutes in Copenhagen, so both sides can join fans in a round of applause in the midfielder's honour. There's live commentary from Copenhagen over on TalkSport. Earlier, Ukraine's 2-1 win over North Macedonia gives their last 16 hopes a major boost, while their opponents are effectively eliminated from Euro 2020.
Talk Radio Sports Update with The Times and The Sunday Times. Our winning lineup of experts includes David Moyes and Jonathan Northcroft. The Euros, the team. thetimes.co.uk/Euro 2020.
Talk Radio. Radio. Across the UK. Online. On DAB. And on your smart speaker.
The Mark Dolan Show. On Talk Radio.
You are listening to Talk Radio. This is the Mark Dolan Show, the home of big opinions, and a big 2 hours to come. Now, in this hour, we have our political panel. It's going to be a lively one. In the blue corner, Emma Webb. In the red corner, Alfie Sterling. New York antiques legend Billy Leroy joins us stateside to discuss his fantastic new Discovery TV series. Former Bake Off star Chetna McCann on her incredible recipe book. It's called 30-Minute Indian. The voice of common sense, Dominique Samuels, on Enid Blyton and whether racial trauma can be used to postpone essay and exam deadlines at university. Plus, the Queen of Showbiz herself, Lizzie Cundy, on what it's like being a wag at the Euros, and our text poll question of the day. Should any future lockdowns be subject to a referendum? My number is 0344 499 1000. You can tweet us at Talk Radio, at Mr. Mark Dolan, or send a text with the word talk, your name and message, to 87222. This is the original home of free speech, Talk Radio. I've got a cracking story for you, but Amy, pull the music. Let's start with this, shall we? And you're going to love this story. It's quite something, so let's get to it. Those prize numpties at the Royal Mail have stopped postmen and postwomen from flying the flag of St. George on their vans and postal trolleys. Now, our posties are a great national asset, working all hours of the day and night to get our correspondent onto our doorstep. I find them friendly, hardworking, dedicated and brilliant for a bit of early morning banter about life, the weather, football, you name it. And they are the only workforce on the planet that can rock a pair of summer shorts all winter. So why can't these national heroes enjoy the Euros, cheer on our three lions and proudly celebrate their country? The Post Office have said it's a health and safety issue. I don't buy it. Post Office bosses have clearly signed up to the woke agenda of hating our country. England is nothing to be ashamed of, but a lot to be proud of. Like Wales, like Scotland, like Northern Ireland, England is a beacon of diversity, tolerance and liberal values. So these killjoy bosses can take their stupid rules and post them where the sun doesn't shine. Come on, England! That feels better. Now here's a story for you, quite extraordinary. Front page of the Mail newspaper, shock plans to work from home forever. What a devastating headline. Let's get the reaction now of the fantastic journalist Jane Kelly, who has written a piece about this in the Conservative Woman website. Jane Kelly joins us now. Hi, Jane.
Hello there. Hi.
Was it mere coincidence that you penned your fantastic article about the addiction we have to Zoom at the same moment that we're being softened up for working from home forever?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that particularly. I was thinking about the strangeness of life with Zoom.
Yeah.
You know, I had this personal experience of going out for tea with some people, and then we all rushed off because we had a Zoom meeting, but it was the same people who we were meeting. So we looked at each other again on the screen. You know, I thought, well, what is going on here?
There is something, it's dystopian, isn't it, Jane? This idea that we'll just be stuck at home on a laptop for the rest of time.
Well, it partly appeals particularly to English people, I think. This English psyche, you know, a lot of us are quite reticent, quite shy, and almost avoid other people. And this is quite a good way of doing it. You get agoraphobia very quickly if you live with Zoom a lot. You don't have to go out and actually meet real people.
Well, that's right. I've just spoken to a professor who's an expert in mental health, Jane, and he said that actually platforms like Zoom have facilitated our isolation and facilitated what he's calling COVID anxiety syndrome.
Yes, I have that in various ways. I got scared because I was on so many Zooms. I was losing the link, the missing link that they used to talk about in the 19th century.
Yeah.
It's now the missing link among your emails. You can't find it. Where is it?
Oh, if you don't get the link, that's it. You're frozen out, Jane.
Yes. That was the anxiety I had. But a lot of people get the facial anxiety. They think their nose is too big, or because the light's very odd, isn't it, with Zoom? So
yes, we're very, very self-conscious on our devices. And what do you think? I mean, should the government be focusing on a policy of getting us back to the office, or do we seize the green agenda and stay at home?
I'm not sure about this, because I wrote down the market value of Zoom communications is now $120 billion.
Yeah.
Well, if Zoom is worth that much, are we going to be allowed to relinquish it? And at work, of course, people are cutting staff, aren't they? They're cutting people's benefits,
Yeah.
There's the unions don't really exist anymore. If you're not actually there as a group, you can't really stand up to your boss.
And
So
you can't really catch the boss's eye either, can you, Jane, and hope for that promotion? You can't put your head around the door of his or her office and say, hey, boss, how's about a pay rise? All of that goes, all of that discretion.
Well, we knew about the gig economy, the evils of the gig economy. That's sort of, because of the pandemic, that's spread, hasn't it, to all of us now. We're all threatened by extra workloads and fewer rights at work.
Well, I know. And of course,
isolation.
It's been a bonfire of our rights, hasn't it, across the board. What do you think's going to happen, Jane? You are a journalist of considerable pedigree. You've been in the business a long, long time. Do you think that we will get back to normal?
Oh, I'm not Mystic Meg, I don't have a crystal ball. I just look at all these fragmenting pieces and wonder if we will ever cohere again in any way. At the moment, it's sort of look back to globalization. That was the sort of idea of things falling apart, no nation state. We've got all that on one side, lack of identity, identitarian groups. And now we've got this, with people being isolated at home on their own. So we've got sort of an atomized society, which is a problem. I don't like it myself. I want to get out there as I used to be and do normal things.
What was your reaction, Jane, when you heard the Prime Minister on Monday announcing an extra month of COVID restrictions?
Well, I was partly relieved, because I don't want to get stuck into another wave of the virus. But other people were saying to me, but it'll wreck the economy and we've got to let people die. It's worth letting them die if we're going to save people's jobs. This terrible argument that we've been having all through. I'm rather glad the government was strong about it. I like them to be decisive occasionally. So unless
of course they're wrong. I mean, that's the big headache, isn't it, Jane? In the end, what's your best prediction about what the world is going to look like, let's say, in 3 months' time?
We'll be approaching autumn, winter. Being Britain, a lot will depend on the weather, how we feel. Maybe we'll have forgotten all this. Perhaps it'll be history, like the war.